In this video, we're going to be covering the questions asked in Blue Zuma Part 5. And in order for us to answer these, we're going to have to be able to access some information in Microsoft Project. The assignment asks that we submit a status report. And within the status report, we're supposed to include information like PV, earned value, actual cost, and so on. If you're not familiar with what these terms mean, you'll need to pause the video right now and review this in your text, because if it doesn't make sense to you now, this video probably will not be helpful to you. So how do you access this information? First of all, we'll need to go to View, and it's just a matter of changing from table to table. So you'll find the earned value table here. Apply, and if we move this over, we'll get a lot more information here. So one thing you want to recognize is that Microsoft Project, instead of using PV, they use BCWS. Instead of earned value, it's BCWP, and your text talks about this a little bit and makes that clear. Also, you can click down here to find out more information about what this means. And Professor Larson also talks to you about this in the tutorials. So you have some of your information here that you need, but it doesn't show you the CPI or the SPI. And in order to find that, you'll just go down here to More Tables and click on either earned value cost indicators for the CPI or the schedule indicators. Let's go to schedule indicators and see what it says here. There's our SPI. So now that we know how to access all of this information, we can start answering the first question. We'll probably want to go back to our earned value table here. So the first question asks us how the project is progressing in terms of cost and schedule. And we can see here that our cost variance indicates that the project is currently over $114,000 over budget. And if we were to go back to the cost performance index, that would show us that only 87 cents worth of planned work to date has been completed for every dollar that we have actually spent. So kind of gives us the clear indication that our project is over budget. As far as schedule, we have to remember that schedule variance doesn't give us any critical path information. It just measures progress in dollars, not in time units. So, you know, it gives us a good direction of where the work in the project is going. So we kind of can see this by looking at this, that our project is probably behind schedule. But in order to actually know for sure, we need to go down to Table and then go to Variance. And here we can see our baseline start and finish and our actual start and finish. We can see that we're about 19 days behind, and we can look at each task and kind of determine which ones are doing well, which ones have run ahead of schedule, which ones are running behind schedule. And this kind of leads us into the next question, which asks which activities are going well, which activities have not gone well. We can determine that in this screen. We can also go back to our earned value screen. Here it is. Go up, earned value, apply, and we can look as far as cost variance. We can see that detailed product design is way over budget, and so is product design selection. We can also see that product design itself is under budget, so that kind of gives us a good feel for what activities are going well and which are not. So the next question asks what do the PCIB and the PCIC indicate in terms of how much of the project has been accomplished to this date, to date? And this is just a simple calculation. You can go to your text in page 435 and 436 to calculate those project percentage complete indexes out. And what you'll find is that both of them indicate that about 64% of the project is completed at this time. So the next question asks, what is the forecasted cost of completion? And we can look up here. Estimated cost at completion is right here, and we can see that the predicted VAC, which is the predicted cost overrun according to this, is over 180,000. So next question asks us to report and interpret the TCPI for the project at this point in time. We'll need to go to our different table in order to locate that. Let's see, cost indicator, apply. So what this TCPI tells us is that in order for the project to stay within budget, every dollar that we actually spend from this point on will have to be worth $1.33, and that will allow us to stay in budget. Not an easy task. So the next question asks us what the estimated date of completion is, and we can just go back to our variance, and we can see that our estimated completion date is now February 24th instead of the 28th of January. Last question, how well is the project doing in terms of priorities? So right now we know that the project is behind schedule and it's over budget, and we know that we really, from previous parts of this assignment, we know that it's very important that we complete this project before February 1st. So every effort needs to be made to get the project back on schedule without compromising the quality and performance of the scooter. So there is another small part to this assignment, and it asks, it states, while preparing your report, you receive a phone call from Jim Keltner, a fellow project manager, and he is calling to see if one of the industrial engineers assigned to your project would be available to work on his project from August 22nd to August 27th. And what would we tell him? And basically, what we need to do is just go to our resource usage. We want to go into the time frame where Jim wants to borrow or use one of our industrial engineers, and we go down to industrial engineers and we look the week he wants, and what we'll have to do is tell him that we don't have any available to give up. So the answer would be, sorry, Jim. And that completes Blue Zuma Part 5.